What is going on, y'all? Welcome to the Joel Friday TV podcast. I am Joel Friday. Bienvenido. Welcome to the show. Amazing. We are live on IG and on YouTube. Do me a favor before we get started, hit that like button, smack it. Lay the smack down on like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show so we get the subscribers up and the message out. Do it now. Help a brother out. Also, as you guys know, it is a talk show, so you can call in at any point by calling 888-775-3773, 888-775-3773, and we can get into whatever you want live on the air. And if for whatever reason you cannot call in, but you still have a question or comment, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV and send it there, or go directly to the YouTube live chat. Hit the super chat button there at the bottom. Send your question or comment there. I will read it live on air. The link is in the description, or like I said, directly on the YouTube live chat. What's going on, people? Shout out to Mod Squad. The mods holding it down over here on YouTube. The Snake Pit. Amazing stuff. Shout out to the IG chat, a.k.a. also known as the Lion's Den, coined by my favorite IG chatter, King Wesley, which looks like he's not even in the chat today. You know? Where is he at? But shout out to the viewers over here on IG as well. What's up, peeps? What's up, Chris? Terry Strange flips hair. I see you flipping the hair, Terry. I see that long, beautiful hair. Life by a thread. Can Joel's chat have a dance theme? Sure. What's up, Surge Wisdom? Nice. Did I get summoned? Howdy. Yeah, King West. I didn't see you at first, so I didn't know if you were here today, but I was shouting out the Lion's Den, and I was telling people that it was coined by you. The Lion's Den. It got a nice ring to it. The Lion's Den over here on YouTube, and the Snake Pit. Sorry, the Lion's Den on IG, and a Snake Pit on YouTube. And there's a reason why it's called the Snake Pit, and we'll see what turns up of the Lion's Den. We shall see. Terry Strange with the super chat out the gate says, I've got a call on hold for Mr. IP. I don't know who that is, so I'm not going to say the full name. But I appreciate the support. I don't know who that is or what that even means, but appreciate the support. Right on. We got some stuff to get into today. Joel, I was the rapper who called Nick rapping about you. Did you like it? I didn't hear it. I didn't hear a rap or a poem in regards to me. I'm sorry, sir. I did not hear it. Moon Cricket stinks. Joel didn't read my super chat. I didn't see the super chat. I thought I read all of them. But anyways, I got to get started with the show here. I thought I read all of them. But let's get it moving. So, you know, I don't know if I've told you guys this, but maybe you guys kind of got the hint. But about 2 months ago or so, I'm kind of guessing about two months, maybe 3 months, but I don't think it's been 3 months. About two or so months ago, Jesse Lee Peterson did a church service, and he was talking about dropping morals and values. You guys remember that? Well, if those who don't know, Jesse Lee Peterson is the founder of the Bond Network, and he has a church service. And in that church service, he was talking about dropping morals and values. And when he said that, I also did an episode on it as well, because when he said that, it dawned on me what that actually meant. Like, I understood in that moment what that meant, and it was so like profound to me. So for the past 2 months, I've completely dropped all my values, all my morals and values. And not like in the I'm just playing way, no, in the way that like morals and values have been dropped. Meaning that I've been living freely to do as I please and what I want. Sin, non-sin, vice, non-vice, as I please. And in the process, just observing what it really means, right? And what that is. And I'm learning a lot. And it's also kind of crazy. A lot of stuff is happening. It's all good, right? In a grand scheme of things, it's all good, right? But in the scope of things, I've seen a lot of good and bad things. What we would think good and bad is, right? And I want to share some of those with you and share my experience of how it's been. I'm still like in this thing. And what's interesting about it is I'm teetering in like this ego, right? In this place of ego. Teetering in there, right? But consciously. I'm teetering in the ego, but consciously. And I want to explain what has happened. So when I've held on to my morals and values, right? So before I dropped them, if I'm making sense here, I've grew up my entire life. Well, not my entire life, to be honest. Not until like 20 is when I really started like picking up these morals and values, like reading the Bible, doing all these things, right? And from like 20 to my early 30s, I've been like understanding how to like deny my ego and walk in the spirit, right? You know, dying to the flesh daily. And having these morals and stuff and these rules have kept me in check, right? They've kept me in line. They kept me in alignment. They allowed me to find this natural energy. It's allowed me to have this like, clear mind and all these things, right? It's been great, the morals and values. But the downside of having morals and values was, for me, is that when I would make mistakes or fall back into old ways or whatever, I would have this like guilt, right? And the guilt would like take me out fully, to where it would like stumble into this other things and other things and other things. And, sin still had like dominion, power over me. So though I was living right with my morals and value, I was living right, doing all the right things, I was still in chains, if I'm making sense, right? I wasn't free. And so at that time, I felt the power, the false power that sin had over me. So when I heard dropping the morals and values, I had realized in that moment, a couple months ago, however long it was, that like, I'm not free, right? I'm not like free to do as I please. And God calls us to be free, right? God calls us to be free so that we do right and be right out of understanding and choice, right? So when I dropped them, it's been something. I would tell you, it's been something. And when I dropped them, I allow myself to just be free. And mind you, you have to understand it in order to do it, because you can't just pretend to drop them. And It's easy to say that we drop them. It's easy to act like we drop them, but you have to truly understand what that even means. And I didn't at first, before I understood it, but I understood it more now. So anyway, what I'm realizing through this process is, like I said, I feel like I'm teetering ego, because now when I have like the cravings to do something or desire to do something, I don't resist myself from doing it. There's times where I still want to like hold on to have a grip on something, like have a fear of the fear of the consequence. But for the most part, I just allow myself to do it. I let myself do it. Whatever sin pops up or temptation, I don't resist the urge. And then I observe through it. And what I'm learning is that the body itself, I can see through this process, the body itself is starting to decay, right? In the sense of like, I'm a little bit more tired. I like have bags underneath my eyes a little bit. When I was younger, I used to get like eczema, and I stopped having it once I changed my diet around, and now my eczema's starting to come back up. You know what I mean? Remember I had those two styes that popped up in my eye? And typically what's causing that is, for one, me living a lifestyle for so long of not doing these things, and all of a sudden eating whatever I want, doing whatever I want. It kind of shocked my body, but for two, it's like I'm operating in that ego, in that lower nature. If I'm making sense, I'm gonna try to keep it understandable and not too like a rabbit hole. So I see my body starting to decay, and I see these different things. My energy level is low, and when it comes to the body, I'm seeing these physically. I gained a little bit of weight, you know what I mean? A little bit of muscle too, because I've been working out still, but I gained some weight, some fat. I see that as well. But I'm just observing it all. And the thing is, what I realized as far as spiritually, because that's just physically, right? Oh, let me say really quick, is with the body decaying, I understand now why the ladies do the makeup thing, right? Because ladies oftentimes they oftentimes teeter in the ego a lot more than men usually do, right? That's more like their realm that they usually live in, which is the emotions and all these things. So I can understand why girls go out their way to wear makeup and all this stuff, because the body starts to decay a little bit, right? The eyes get low, the bags, the skin starts to like droop. So they want to look pretty again. They want to appear as pretty, and they don't want that to show, right? And that shows when the body is decaying. So I understand that more. I definitely understand that. But what I'm realizing through that spiritually is, on the spiritual side of things, is that like I realize that my spirit is just fine. My spirit is fine. Right? My spirit is fine. And because I'm seeing that those things that I was running from, the sins, right? The wrongdoing, the ego indulgence, and all that stuff that I was running from, I was giving it power. And then now allowing myself to let it be allows me to realize that's not bringing any spiritual conflict to my spirit. It's not bringing any spiritual conflict. So what it's showing me is that sin has no power. There's no power to the sin. But I thought it did, because my whole life I've been trying to avoid it. Most of my life, right? Been trying to avoid the sin, thinking that it had power, but me giving in and doing whatever I want to do, It allowed me to realize that my spirit is fine because I'm not judging myself about it, for one. And for two, learning, that it's not a big deal and all these things. I'm realizing that there's no power. So sin is not the problem. The sin is not the problem, right? But and most importantly, what I'm learning is two things. First thing is I'm letting, when I'm going through them, it's like the kid that touches the fire, right? He's learning through actual experience, not being told, not being taught, but he's learning through actual experience. And it's allowing the attachment to whatever it may be to show its face, so I can recognize it more and more and understand why or why not I should avoid it, or why not this is, not the best thing to do, but also why or why not it's not that bad, you know? So I'm learning that, but most importantly, it's teaching me about faith, right? About letting go. And I think this is the most important lesson that I'm learning. And I'm still learning this. I still have so many unanswered questions about this. There's still a lot of fear of where I'm going to end up. And there's a lot of fear of still sometimes that wants to creep in of like, what's the end result? Sickness, disease, death, right? Fear, those fears try to come in. But that's what's beautiful about faith, what's teaching me about faith, is because it's allowing me to trust God. And before, I thought I was controlling my life, having all these things in order, all my morals and values squared away, making sure I have this regimen and doing all these things, which are not bad things. They're good things to do, right? But that was also a means of me controlling my life, right? Knowing what is going to work for me, knowing what's going to give me energy, knowing all these things. And I wasn't free. So what faith is teaching me is how to be free more, right? But also how to let go and trust. And I was speaking to my uncle about this over the weekend, and I was telling him how I feel like I'm falling, hence my thumbnail, right? I feel like I'm like falling off a cliff, right? And the cliff, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if I'm gonna die, right? It's dramatic, right? But I don't know if I'm gonna die. I don't know what's gonna happen at the bottom, right? But I know that I'm falling. And what's the reason why I feel like I'm falling is because I'm letting go, right? And what letting go is having full faith. That's the definition of faith, is letting go. And I feel myself letting go, but my uncle was like, you think that it's falling, and that's the illusion of falling, which is true. It's an illusion that I'm falling, but that's what it feels like, to describe it to you guys. And I don't know what's at the bottom, but I also know that I'm willing to find out. And it doesn't mean that I don't have fear about it. It doesn't mean that I'm not scared to do it, because I do believe into those. Sometimes fear hits and I feel it, right? But I'm willing to go through it and to find out, because that's the definition of faith, is trusting what you can't see but you believe. And that's why I also speak on that you got to be led to do these things, because if you do them based off of like just me saying it, it's not going to bring any true value to you. These things you have to discover these things. They have to be understood. I can't just go forgive and, expect the results. I have to understand why I'm forgiving. I have to understand, what forgiveness means, or I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it. And I've been doing that most of my life. You know what I mean? So, yeah, faith has been understanding faith and understanding that the power is in faith and understanding that God has washed it all away, the sins away. So sin no longer has power over us. That is has been interesting to see as well too, because the things that I do or may not do, I see that when I do them and I don't have guilt about it, I'm not judging myself for it. I'm perfectly fine, except I do feel the emotion of it. You know what I mean? I do feel the emotion of it. I do feel like it tried to lower the vibration. You know what I mean? That does happen. But if I believe into it, then I'll get caught up into my mind and then get emotional and stuff like that. But if I don't, the body just will be feeling the pain, but the spirit is perfectly fine. So I've been fine, but it's been like a interesting thing. And I'm still learning it. I'm still learning what the next move for me to do is. But I'm definitely operating at a lower physically. I can feel my body not really having energy, but yet I also notice God is still here with me. And he's still leading me and guiding me and still allowing me to do this show and conversate, you know what I mean? And still allow me to see. He's still, guiding me through. And I'm doing, and I could still see, even though I'm not on this moral value route. Isn't that crazy? And that's because faith is the key. Because God is with you even through the cloudiness and the lower vibration or whatever. And I didn't know that before. At least I didn't understand it as clearly as I do now. Terry said, "You're doing great, sweetie." Thanks, honey. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Mom. Thank you for allowing us to ride along your journey, Joel. No, and I wanted to explain it so you guys just just kind of give some insight to what that actually looks, what that looks like. And letting go is hard for many people, including me, because all people are afraid of the unknown. So I have something that I realize that I want to get to. I also realize why Satan tempts us, in my opinion. But I want to take a break from talking and get to a call. You can call in 888-775-3773, 888-775-3773, and I will get to your super chats as well and all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Let me go to Greg out of Los Angeles, California. Greg, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
What's up, Joe? How you doing?
How's it going, Greg? All is well.
All is well over here, too.
Right
I love
on,
the
man.
show, bro.
You said what?
I said love the show.
Oh, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, so just calling because I was reflecting on the first time I ever called your show, maybe 6 months ago. And I was talking to you about how I dropped smoking weed.
Oh, yeah.
And, well, just a little update on that. It's funny you say dropping the morals and everything, because I felt that weed was immoral. And that's why I had to stop smoking.
Oh, yeah.
And I went 6 months without it, bro. And this is somebody who smoked 10 years, 15 years almost.
Wow.
And yeah, and I went 6 months, and just recently I started to smoke again.
Yeah.
And then I people ask me, what did you learn from, stop smoking weed for 6 months? And I was like, I learned that weed wasn't the problem, and the problem was me, like. But when you're in that situation, you like to point to the first thing that you think is the problem, anything to get it away from you,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So I was pointing at the weed, and I was saying like, oh, weed is the reason I'm not where I want to be,
Right.
And yeah, and so I dropped it, right, thinking that was going to help, but it really didn't. Nothing changed. Like, I was still the same person. I was still thinking the way I thought, and it's crazy because we try to better ourselves, like you said, and it's a great point about dropping your morals, or at least practicing that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I tried to drop it, and I did for months, and then I realized, like I said, it wasn't me. Like, it was me that was holding me back, not necessarily these things of the world.
Right.
It's always going to circle back to who you are,
Right. And the quote unquote sins that we're all taught, our sins aren't the issue, aren't the problem, right? I realized that my judgment of doing these things was what brought me the conflict. You know what I mean? I realized that my judgment of whatever I was doing, we'll use like weed or alcohol or whatever, the judgment of my vice was the sin, the issue, because I was looking at them as wrong and I'm a bad person, and that was what bring in the conflict and the guilt. But now, dropping the morals and values, like you're saying, and just like when I, do certain things, I understand that the things were never the problem. It was just my opinion about them.
Yeah, exactly. And no, you're right, bro. It's crazy. Nobody talks about this stuff. This is why I love a show like this. But
Right
yeah,
on.
I was also thinking like, so yeah, you're right. Like, it was the judgment of the smoking weed that was really holding me back. So now when I smoke, I have no judgment of myself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I just do it, and I continue to do what I've always been doing, and I have no judgment. But a question I do have is, when you say drop your values and morals, are you telling the people to go try those things that they're scared of?
I'm just saying that that stop trying to I'm just really trying to point out that fear and judgment are the reasons why we're doing it in the first place. Because if we really get to the bottom of it, we'll realize that it's not even a genuine pursuit while we have these morals and values. It's just because we want something out of it, right? To feel better or whatever. And I'm saying that in order to really learn, if you're really looking to overcome, in order to really understand how to overcome it, we got to stop fighting it. And, the morals and values things is just us pretending that we are fighting against it, or, it's like a pretense, if I'm making sense.
I get you. So just to clarify, you're saying instead of, being filled with judgment and afraid of these things that you call morals.
Yeah.
Are you saying to go through them or to avoid them? You know what I mean? Like,
oh, I see.
Say someone is scared to do a certain something because of their morals say otherwise. Are you saying go try that?
I'm saying live freely and try it if you want to. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people want to do certain things, but they're afraid of, because of their morals and values, they're afraid to do it because of the consequences. And that it digs you deeper. It makes you want it more because now you're being tempted by it. And I'm saying that, like, go do it, be free, live freely and be free, but just observe, you know what I'm saying? And just learn and grow and all that stuff. But don't be afraid. Don't live in fear of what you can and can't do. If you want to do it, do it. Just be smart about it. Just be smart, about what you're doing and be safe. but live
Yeah.
free and don't, because God's not telling us, oh, you better not, but we think he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not love. Love is
Yeah.
you're free to make your choices, and he wants us to be able to do right because in our hearts we value that because we understand what it really means.
Yeah. It's interesting because, say in my position, I'm able to see a lot of things I wasn't able to before. So when I hear you say that, I think about, like, of course, somebody with a broken heart hears this, is gonna say, like, oh, I should go do the things my human needs want, you know?
Right.
But I understand what you're saying from my perspective, that you're chasing those things for the wrong reasons to begin with.
Right.
And yeah.
No, I was gonna go ahead, finish your point.
Just saying, I'm not sure we should follow our human needs or our human desires.
And why do you think?
You know what I mean?
Why?
Because I know better. Because I know I'm chasing it for the wrong reasons.
And I get what you're saying, and I don't want to because I could be wrong as well, and that's why everybody has to know for themselves.
Yeah.
The reason why, to me, when I would think that, I recognize that that was fear for me talking. Maybe you do know, better, but for me it was fear talking, because it was fear of, like, what will happen if I let myself go. Will I end up in a bad situation? Will I end up in jail? Will I end up doing something I regret, right?
Yeah.
But what that also is lacking faith, not having faith that God is gonna lead you and guide you. Because my heart is not set on recklessly destroying the earth. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what my heart is not set on. My heart is just trying to make sense of, like, what the heck is going on, but also, like, understanding that, like, I do have these urges or needs or whatever that that I don't even see that are necessarily completely wrong to understand or make sense of. So why not, put your foot in the pool and see what it's all about? That's just where I'm at with it. But everybody's in their own place, and they should know for themselves.
Yeah. Right.
That
makes sense, bro. Makes sense. Perfect sense.
Well, I appreciate. Oh, go ahead.
Just the last thing. I was gonna say. When I talk to my daughter, I tell her, like, I try to, like, show her the way and everything, and she said something that was such a revelation. She ended up telling me, like, Dad, you need to let me make my own mistakes.
Yes.
And I was like, man, you're right. It's like, I'm trying to, like, save you from the mistakes and stuff, but, like, I can't. And you need to walk through it. You need to know for yourself. I can't. I can't move for you and all these things.
Man.
And I realized that, and it was so deep. Like, hearing her say that, like, I was happy to hear that. I was like, man, she's thinking.
Yeah, man. That's probably the best thing that she said, because what you were doing was lacking the faith that God is gonna guide her. You know what I mean?
Right.
And she has to be able to. That's the only way, and that's kind of what we're talking about right now. Is that's the only way she's gonna understand what she should. She has to let life teach her as well. You know what I mean? Life has to teach her as well. And if if parents try to step in, that's us trying to control and not let God lead them. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yep.
So she's right about that, man. But so this is Gray. So they have Greg.
Yeah.
Okay,
Greg,
they put Greg here.
My phone was a little choppy.
Oh, okay.
My phone was a little choppy at the first, so I'm not sure if you're hearing me right now, but it was a little choppy.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I definitely know. I was like, Greg from Los Angeles, but Gray. But it's always good talking to you, man. Always some good conversation we have. I appreciate it, and call me again.
Yeah, bro, I appreciate you. Everybody in the chat, hope you're having a good day, and let's get this money, man.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Appreciate it. Couple super chats I want to get to. Great conversation with Gray there. Great stuff. Frederick says, Joel, never drop your morals and values because some things you can't recover from. I totally understand what you're saying, Frederick, and I get what you mean, but I think also in that statement, it's lacking that God is going to guide you in all things. God is going to be there, be involved. And I rather, as crazy as it sounds, I rather take that risk to understand than to stay in the dark. Because I realized, which is what I was going to get to, is that Satan can only tempt, he only tempts people in their ignorance. He can only tempt you with what you don't know. And that's why we feel the pain and it's the temptation we want to give in is because we lack understanding in that area. So he's able to poke at that weakness, right? He's able to poke at it, and that's why we're tempted by it. But the things that we understand, the things that we know, right, in my opinion, he doesn't really go after those things because he knows that we're standing firm in them. Right? We got a grip on them, right? But the things we don't know, the things we don't understand, the things we're in the dark about, he goes after those things and he tempts us with them because he knows he can get away with it. So, like I said, I'm in a place where I rather take the risk to understand than to play it safe and continue to, suffer. So that's just how I see it. That's just me. That's just my opinion. And I'm still learning and growing. But I appreciate the donation, Frederick, and a generous one at that. Frederick don't be playing with the donations, y'all. He's like, if I'm going to send a chat, I'm sending. If I'm sending a super chat, I'm putting some money on it. Appreciate it, Frederick. Kale Samogi says, hold up. Joel, trust God and let go completely. The worst that can happen is you die. I'm trying so hard not to talk so much, but I gotta say something. That is deep. Because I was thinking about that the other day, like the worst that can happen to you is you die, right? But I know that sounds crazy and scary. Like I know it sounds like, what are you talking about? The worst that can happen to you is you die. But what does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. That means nothing. Because the spirit lives on if we believe in that, right? The spirit lives on, and there's a lack of understanding what the death means and a lack of understanding what if that means graduation? You know what I mean? What if that means all these things? So the worst that can happen is death, then why is that bad? And all of that will all circle back to why we don't do things, and why we do things is the fear of death. A lot of it is the fear of death, right? Fear of death. And death should not be a big deal. That sounds crazy. YouTube, I'm playing. YouTube, just cut me some slack. I'm just trying to make sense of things here. I don't really, I'm just trying to make sense, right? I'm not telling people to go die. I'm not telling them none of that stuff. So YouTube, please show some love for your boy. But thank you, Kel Samogi. Great point. Moon Crickets Stink says, Joel, how do men stop simping and start building? Stop trying. Stop trying to build. Stop trying to be a man. Stop trying to be alpha. Stop trying. And just live life. Keep your eyes on yourself the best you know how. Be aware the best you know how. Have faith, and God will guide you in all things. But stop trying. That's a big one. Stop trying. Because you can't. It's ugly. From experience, trying to be alpha and trying to be a man is ugly. And all the ladies and all the people around you know it. So that's how I feel about that. Appreciate the donation. Moon Cricket goes on to say, rebuilding the man by removing the simping. That's right. Shout out to Pretty. Amazing stuff. I'm gonna get back to the calls. 888-775-3773. 888-775-3773. Chris says, fear of the unknown. Death is the great unknown. Exactly. And when we don't know, we avoid. So let me go to Rick. Rick out of Hampton, Virginia. Rick, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Man, Joel, what is going on, my brother?
How's it going, Rick? All is well.
Man, I'm doing pretty good, man. You know, when it comes to walking the faith, to me, it's about, you know how we say, don't study God's word, read God's word, and do it.
Right.
You know, apply it to your life. And the trauma that we put ourselves in is be bad choices we made in our feelings and emotions. In most cases.
Say that last part again. Sorry.
I said for the bad choice, when we put ourselves in bad choices, bad situations, we've been made the bad choice out of our feelings and emotions.
Yes, sir. That's for.
Go ahead, Joel.
No, that's for sure. It's out of the feelings and emotions that drive us to do these things. 100%.
And the anger. Something I think people don't believe in. That's a spirit world, you know. And everybody love the heart. We can do what we want. Because see, like the election gonna be about Joe Biden trying to keep the winner goes by telling that. Oh, you know what's happening.
Hold on, Rick, you're kind of breaking up a little bit. I don't know if you can come closer to your phone.
Can you hear me now? What about now, Joel?
That's a little bit better.
Yeah, and just like President Biden trying to use abortion to control the woman's vote. And if we value their freedom instead of looking at what's right, they can make change as a result of that.
You know? Say that last part again. Sorry, you broke up.
I'm sorry. They can, have women, how President Biden wants to run off abortion.
Oh yeah.
And the women, if they be into their egos and emotions, that's gonna be the whole thing instead of what's really the true issues, you know.
Right. No, that's a good point. Is that if they can get your, especially when it comes to politics, if they can get your emotions invested, then they know how to get the vote and get you to vote their way. So that's why people really gotta be, wake up and be conscious.
Yeah, wake up, man. Look at what's going on. High inflation, high interest rate, out of control borders, high crime. I mean, transgenders teaching kids, young kids, man. It's all that stuff. That's what I say.
And you know what's so interesting, Rick, is that it all seems like love and acceptance and like appreciate all type of thing, but it's done in the false way to where like it's pushed as celebratory opposed to like respect. So they push it and stuff because obviously they have an agenda, but it seems the reason why it's so tricky is because it seems like to the average eye that, they're the party that loves everybody and like gives everybody a voice and lets everybody in and be free. And it seems and looks like love, but they're not seeing that it's actually hurting them more than it's helping them. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that too. Because when you're in your emotions, Joel, you can't see nothing. You really can't. You
Yeah.
can't see nothing, and your anger, you can't see nothing until after the boat starts sinking.
Right. And maybe
So
the
now you
boat.
like think, what?
I would say maybe the boat has to sink for some people.
Right. Just like Jesse said, some people have to let people suffer.
Yep.
Like if you try to rescue somebody and they get to when they get angry at you, hey, they want to stay in a situation, let them stay. Thank God you're not in it.
Is that right? Suffer and die. Exactly.
Yeah. People don't like to hear that word when you tell, hey, suffer and die. And all that means is if you choose to want to suffer and then be miserable, hey, you have a right to be wrong.
You got a right to be wrong, yeah. And then we also Christians also gotta give people in general, gotta give people the space to be wrong. You know what I mean? Let them be wrong without, trying to beat them up with the Bible.
Yeah, exactly. Because sometimes my stepdaughter comes to me talking about blacks are the original people, and I tell them, well, no, they were biracial. Adam was a biracial man. You know, I mean, you're trying to tell me that everybody came out of black people? Look how that sounds. And blacks actually believe that because we're so stuck in our skin color.
Yeah.
And that's why it's such a strong chokehold on the black community because they vote 95% Democrat, all due to their skin color.
Yeah. Thinking that that's the issue, and that's not really the issue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not the issue at all, man. It's just like they just want everything is about color. And when it comes to race and color, blacks brings it up more than any race. We don't want to bring it up constantly.
Right. Exactly.
Go ahead, Joel.
It's always the pointing the finger of it. And it's just a pretense. And I think people are starting to see now that like, oh, okay, now you guys, now it's getting out of control. I try to give you this, I try to give you that, and then you're still complaining. So I think people are starting to wake up now and see what's really going on. So, hopefully people will make the right decision on November, and God will lead the way.
Man, it's time for us blacks to wake up out this diabetic coma, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I mean, why it's time to wake up, man? I mean, I would really be happy just to see that it goes from 95% supporting the Democratic Party to about 70%. I would still be happy. That is an improvement.
Progress, exactly. Progress. That's all. Baby steps. We'll take it. But I appreciate it, Rick. I got to get to some more calls.
Joe, man, love you, man. God bless, brother.
All right, thank you, Rick. Appreciate it. I think people are starting to see it more now. I got the feeling. But we're seeing it on social media. We're seeing it on these different videos that people are starting to see like, hold up. What is really going on here? So we'll see what happens. Leo out of Texas. Leo, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, man. It's good to see you doing well, Joel.
Appreciate it, Leo.
Jesse's been messing me up too, man. As far as like, him just being, he's like I hate to intellectualize it, but he's like a light because now me hearing him, dude, I've been really working on myself and it becomes difficult because you start to get in where you're at. And it's just like, now I'm like, oh, I hope Joel make it out of this so I can get some benefit and see how to.
Well, what do you mean?
Even though I have my own road, it's good to see you talking about this.
Oh.
Because I don't know, for some reason it seems like after people hear Jesse, they just think they've overcome because you know how men we try to be so stoic and so alpha.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, you don't even realize that you're stuck in another trap.
Yeah.
So, and I'm aware of it. So I'm like, dang. It was funny earlier. Somebody was like, "The devil your daddy." You was like, "No, the devil your daddy." And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "That's a daddy I'm not gonna forgive."
No, man.
I'm right there with you, man.
No, man. It's Yeah, it's interesting,
It's
and
deep.
I definitely. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I said it's deep.
Yeah, no. And I understand it too at the same time because there was a point in time where I was just excited to understand a glimpse of what manhood looks like. So I would just grab it and put it on as if I had it, but it didn't really fit. You know what I mean? The manhood clothes that I thought were it didn't really fit. So I think it's just like I don't want to say it's a natural process that happens when, guys hear Jesse message or when they start to overcome. But I will say that I see how the excitement takes over and it has you thinking ahead, thinking too far ahead instead of being present. So that's what I learned that like, okay, hold up. You know what I mean? All this like sticking my chest out and talking big and bossing people around and preaching to them is not humble. It's not of God. It's not of love. So pump the brakes and you know, and I had to go through a couple things too. I had to go through a relationship that was rough, you know, that taught me a lot. I had to go through different things. I had to get out there in the world and live. And that's what really taught me, like, man, this is not
Dang, Satan,
normal
Satan
behavior.
tricking you through relationships too, just like me. Goodness gracious, using the woman on the man.
You said
He's a
what?
one-trick pony, man.
Oh, Satan. You talk about Satan?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We always gotta go through a relationship.
He knows how to get in there and do it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I wanted to say this, man. I think remember I talked to you about like this automatic process. Like this world is about like destiny, and you don't have the choice. And I was talking to you about settings, and I think this is the default setting. And what's interesting is I think when you begin to see like that you'll automatically begin to make that change. Like I see it a little bit in my own personal life. Like at first when I heard the message, I started to notice it, and then I would talk a little bit too much about it,
yeah.
and then I stopped that, and then I think I heard a message from Jesse talking about don't teach, and then I was like, oh, I naturally didn't stop teaching, and I totally did away with talking about women because I
Yeah.
noticed that I'm only projecting. And the women know that. That's why
Yeah.
when the men are talking on the internet, all the red pill men that are living
Yeah.
and totally wrong. The women can see that, and then they're
Yeah.
retaliating. It's the evil arguing with the evil. So
Yeah.
I begin to see this, man. This is deep, man, and it's good. And it's good to hear you talking about it and being so upfront and not afraid about it. Same thing with Hank, man.
Yeah.
Not being afraid about Hank is really by far the only white guy I see that is fighting for what's right. Don't matter if you blue. This man is gonna call you out, and then he'll say, but the such and such is coming from mostly the blacks. I'll be like, yo, see when he says that, I love it because I'm like, yo, when Joel and Hank and Nick are saying these things, you have no idea what it's doing to the younger people, no matter what color they are. They're
Yeah.
beginning to see what is right and what is wrong,
Yeah.
and that it's not a color thing. So I appreciate you guys
Shout
doing
out
that
to
and
Hake.
being open.
Yeah, shout out to the Hake Report. Right on, Hake. Amen. And shout out to the American Anchor Baby as well. Yeah, they have great shows and
And
yeah. Go
one
ahead.
last thing, can we take Terry Strange out back and put her down?
What do you mean?
Like old Yao, the dog?
Put her down. What does
We
that
can't put her.
mean?
Oh no, I'm joking.
Oh.
Old Yeller. Yeah, Old
We
Yeller.
love, you don't like Terry?
No, I'm kidding.
Are you in the chat,
No,
Leo?
she's the best. Yeah, Surge Wisdom.
Oh, okay, nice. Nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I'll look
yeah.
out for you. Yeah, we love. Oh, okay, it makes more sense now. We just be messing
And
around.
I swear I'm not cloud chasing or anything. But Joel, if you can get a chance, tell me what you think of any of that nonsense that I be doing on my shorts. If you have a chance to ever click on
Okay.
my video.
Okay, I
Yep.
got you. I'll check
You
it
too,
out.
Hank. Yep.
Right on, Leo. I appreciate it. I appreciate the call, man.
Appreciate you too, man. Have a good rest of your day.
All right, you as well. I didn't know that Leo is in the chat, so he was just joking, Terry. I thought he was just a random person. And it's like, let's get rid of Terry. No, we love Terry. We love Terry. Terry said, I don't deserve this. Hey, look. Hey, let me tell you something, Leo. Terry's a mod now. So you guys want to mess with Terry, she might mess around and she has the scissors. She's got the scissors. So anybody mess around with Terry too much, she's got the power. She's got the power. Good call. Let me think. American Anchor Baby is not coming in right after. So I have a little bit of time here to, if I may, to get to some of you guys' comments here. I'll get to a few of them. But I did want to say something that Leo said. The ladies, the guys are definitely, especially right now, woo-wee, the guys are like really like going hard on the ladies and all across YouTube, across these platforms, social media. Guys are really going hard on the ladies. And I understand, and I've done it as well. And I understand why. It's because you're starting to see like the ladies' behavior and the behavior of, a lot of ladies today are kind of out of control and doing a lot, doing the most. And, guys' intention, just in case there's any ladies watching right now, guys' intention of doing this is we're thinking that we're being helpful. So we're not intentionally trying, and maybe some have a different agenda, but we're not intentionally trying to put you down or make you or hurt you or harm you. We're thinking that we're being helpful, and we're not realizing that it's coming from the wrong spirit. So it's judgmental. It's like putting you down. It's looking down on you, making you less than. That's how it's coming off. But in the heart of hearts, we think that we're being helpful. So my advice to the ladies is try to just be understanding a little bit more about the intention of where it's coming from, and then still voice your opinion. Like, look, you talking a little crazy, right? Because I've had ladies, friends that I know who have told me, like, look, you got to calm down a little bit. And I've had to check it and watch myself and realize, okay, I'm acting up a little bit. So still speak up, but also understand that the man is not out to like destroy you. He just thinks he's being helpful, but he lost, trying to find his way and make sense of life. But guys, we are going a little bit hard on ladies. So I'm not saying don't put your foot down when you need to put the foot down, because you need to put the foot down sometimes, and the ladies just got to get over it. But this hyper masculine alpha male type of stuff is getting out of control. So that's my advice to the ladies and the men. And Zenny said, dang, Joel got checked by his female friends. What's wrong with that? You know what I mean? I don't see not one thing wrong with that. Yeah, there's ladies that had to check me. What's wrong with that? I mean, I understand why it seems bad, because it's like, oh, a woman had to tell you. No, but that's ego. That's pride. Ladies sometimes I have lady friends that are like, look, you need to relax. And sometimes I disagree. But sometimes I'm like, whoa, she's right. She's right. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. They can have advice to give sometimes too. Ladies are not dumb, okay? Yeah, there's people are lost and trying to find their way, or they're angry and like they have an agenda. Yes, we know this, right? But ladies they're not just dumb people, empty dumb people. It's not the case. So I would suggest keep your mind open to everybody, lady, man, transgender, gay, child. Keep your mind open to everything. Because anybody has something to offer. So, what you think about that one, huh? That's to the alpha males. DJ Brell with the generous donation. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. He does the number one. It might be pointing up to Jesus or just like a number one. But either way, right on. Appreciate it. Terry Strains. A broken clock is right twice a day. Exactly. True. Take what makes sense in and throw the rest out. Child after gay, though. Man over one for children over gay. Just kidding. That's a joke, YouTube. Let me see what IG. Let's see what the Lions Den talking about. It's a little dry over here in the Lions Den. Be open to being checked by a transgender, says Zenny. Joel eating alpha jerky right now. I wish. Go get you some alpha jerky. You want to be an alpha male, you need alpha jerky. That's the solution. That's what's happening. You're not eating enough alpha jerky. Go get you some alpha jerky by going to somewhere. Maybe they'll tell me where you can get it because I forgot. Hake or somebody out there, where can they get alpha jerky? Zenny says, Jesse ran into the studio right now. Jesse's busy right now, so I'm off the hook. That's why I'm getting it all out right now, because I know he can't run in. Hake said co-ed chat means you can't play too rough with some of the delicate ladies, except the rules of the ribcage. No, the ladies in the chat, they can handle it. But you always still want to be respectful of who's all in the chat. You know what I mean? You don't want to just be like acting up. Trolling for Jesus. Alpha Jerky, he said, Carver said, Alpha Jerky sales plummeted today after Joel Friday TV podcast. Oh, sorry, maybe I shouldn't promote Alpha Jerky after these views. After these, my advice ain't helping. But you can go to bigclubusa.com if you want some Alpha Jerky. And it's a lot healthier and cleaner than the average jerky right there. Huh?
You found it?
Oh, guess who popped in, guys? Jesse.
You found the alpha jerky? That's it. You gonna lose your job.
I thought Jesse was busy, but he popped right in, guys. He's right
I
here.
heard you saying it as I was walking in.
Yeah, James sent it to me. Big Club USA, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I promoted it, but somebody here said that after my little advice, they ain't gonna go buy it. You're not supposed to laugh that hard at it.
Sorry.
All right, guys. I gotta end it. There's no calls right now at the moment, so I'm just gonna end the show. American Anchor Baby will be here. If not today, later today, he will be back here tomorrow for his normal slot, as far as I know. Oh, Hake says promo code JLP33 for a percentage off on your Alpha Jerky. Okay. And Zenny wants to remind you guys to make sure that you're open to being checked by a transgender. Zenny want me to let you guys know, be open to getting checked by a transgender and go buy Alpha Jerky, says Zenny. Right, Zenny? Right. Harmony with the super chat says, thank you for making that point, Joel. Right on, Harmony. I appreciate it. And you got it. Fist bump to the ladies. Amazing stuff. I got in. Until next time, y'all. I'm back here tomorrow. Who knows what we're going to get into next? Some more mess. Joel Friday TV across the board. Subscribe, follow, share, and tell your peoples about the show and the JLP network across the board so we can get the message out, y'all. Amazing stuff. Until next time, gotta go. Bye.